Yeah, but I ain't got no 5 grand to give to nobody for no changes. Nah, things fine the way they is, Roscoe said. I could work up a program, and all I would want is 100 a week raise, Persephone said, all the time putting numbers in the computer from the bet sheet she was working on. Say what? Roscoe said, looking up for the computer printout that had accumulated behind the printer. Yeah, I could do it. I went to school for computer programming, and I know that if I work on it, I could do that for you, Persephone said, stopping her typing and looking up from her computer screen. You would have the girls out by 8 and slash their pay by $50 a week. In the end, that's a substantial yearly profit, considering we're talking about $200 a week times 51. I mean, I know you would agree. Oh, Roscoe looked up from the computer printout with a pen dangling from his mouth like a thermometer. He stared at Lucy with a sly smile and let out a slow laugh. No, really, Persephone persisted. And if you don't like the new system after trying it out for a few days, then we can always go back to the old way at no expense to you. To Persephone, it sounded just like she had rehearsed it in her head. She had vetoed going to Sally first with the idea. If Sally had said no to the idea, she might cloud Roscoe's decision if Lucy went over her head. Roscoe looked at her for a moment with a serious face, then said, "Well, shit, if you want to do it, that's your ass. But I ain't making no promises to a damn thing." The following Monday, Sally agreed to arrive half an hour early so Persephone could get the system hooked up. It ran that Monday without one hitch. Roscoe gave her the raise plus an extra $1,000 bonus, baby, in her pay envelope at the end of the week. When the phone girls got their pay decrease the next week, they complained, of course. But Roscoe told them, "I ain't paying y'all for no time you ain't on the job. If you work for Mr. Ford, he pay your ass for the time you work. You ain't here, you ain't working. And if y'all asses don't like it, you know where the door is." This was Roscoe's group meeting announcement to the girls before handing them their envelopes with the pay decrease. Lucy pretended to be surprised when the girls came complaining to her about the pay situation. "That tight motherfucker, he gonna pay me," were two of the more tame responses from the girls. But they showed up the next week, and two of the girls were even overheard saying it was cool to be able to catch them all before they closed. By Lucy's 6th week at the office, she had lost 20 pounds, even though she had to get used to munching on fruits and vegetables instead of cookies, chips, candy, and cakes. She tried to psych herself out of pretending the carrots were candy and the broccoli was potato chips and the cottage cheese was ice cream. She was struggling, but each day that she didn't backslide, she felt triumphant. Maybe she hadn't dropped any dress sizes yet, but she could feel the change happening within her body. Even her even her bowel movements were less stressful since she had increased her water intake. She didn't have to open up the bathroom window for she didn't have to open up the bathroom window for 20 minutes after she'd had a good sit down anymore either. Persephone was weighing in on her bathroom scale at under 200 pounds now. She felt she was in a new category of women, just being able to say, if asked, that she was 100 and something pounds, which would be a statement she hadn't been able to make since she was a young girl. She had never been a little girl, and she had no fear of becoming anorexic or bulimic because Persephone knew that food wasn't her enemy. She was. She didn't have a specific diet plan. Over the years, she had tried just about all of them, except the pills. So she just combined all the common sense information from each weight loss program she'd ever been on, along with the advice from every magazine article and television show she could remember. She decided that if she just cut out the junk food, replace it with fruits and vegetables, increased her water intake to at least 8 glasses a day, stayed away from the fried and fast foods, and exercised, the weight would go. And it was happening. She just needed to stick with her program more earnestly, and she knew the results would be even better. But aerobics had never been her forte, and jogging was out of the question. Persephone decided to purchase a Stairmaster with some of her bonus money, and she dedicated at least 20 minutes every day to it. She hadn't had a date in months and really wasn't thinking about a man. Men had always seemed to come and go. With Persephone, the 4 loves of Persephone's life so far were all losers. There was Fat Boy Carlos when she was 17. He was in the church choir. She let him feel around down there, but they broke up before doing it. Then at 19, there was Nathan. She met him when she entered community college at her mother's urging. Girl, you better take your lazy ass to school. But that turned out to last only as long as she did as homework. 9 months, the length of the semester. There was Clarence when she turned 21, a community college dropout. She had met him at job training program for residents of Wayne County, which was comprised of Detroit and other black areas, did not offer such a program. Wayne County, which was comprised of Detroit and other black areas, didn't offer such a program. So Persephone signed up using her Aunt Breezy's Southfield address. Clarence knew Persephone before, casually from the church. They kicked it for 2 years, and their affair only ended after Persephone found out he had a 6-month-old baby girl the week before she broke up with him. At 24, she met Tony, or to be more specific, the Reverend Anthony Warden. Persephone soon figured out that the Reverend just wanted Persephone to become a sheltered preacher's wife who could fill up the church with members to hear her sing and him preach and pass the collection plate, please. And then Arturo, when she was 28. He was nice, sweet, gentle, and kind, and unemployed. It didn't take long for Persephone to figure out that he was a functioning illiterate. During the 3 years they were together, Persephone taught Arturo how to read, write, and fill out a decent application to get him out of the dead-end security job he held. Arturo got a taste of book smarts and changed on Persephone. After graduating from the mechanic school he'd attended, he broke up with her without even a thank you. Since then, there had been a few brief affairs here and there, but no one she'd want to spend the majority of her remaining years with. No successful, eligible bachelor wanted a big fat woman, so that left the bottom layer of the community. Thieves, addicts, or the philandering old married men whose wives had long stopped giving a damn about what they did with their thing as long as they still brought their paychecks home.